10 years ago, this was a bare stubble field, just empty ground. This is the story of how one tree started a woodland. Have you ever noticed how nature always tries again, even when she's been pushed out? Even when she's been ploughed, sprayed, fenced, ignored, written off, she never ever gives up. This entire woodland I'm standing in right now wasn't here 11 years ago. Then it was just a field of barley stubble left over from the previous year's harvest. Bare, empty, it had been cultivated for decades. Now, in today's video, I want to tell you the story of how nature took back part of this field with the help of one tree. Because this is one of those stories that I think tells you everything you need to know about why we need nature. And given the chance, why nature will take over and breathe again. I'm going to put my hat on, it's cold. So, back in the summer of 2013, when we first took on this field, I walked the perimeter just to see what was here, and I noticed these tiny little trees, 8, maybe 10 inches tall, dotted along the canal bank. I did a bit of research and a bit of digging, and they were actually common alder. And then I noticed something curious. All these little saplings were spread out in a kind of teardrop shape, which stretched from 10 to 15 metres out into the field from the canal bank. They'd all been planted by the wind, always blowing from the west and from the south. So that meant that all these tiny trees were the children of one big alder growing by the canal. And that one tree became known as the mother alder. And that's right behind me now. Now, at the time, we needed a shelter belt. We were planning our organic orchard and veg ground, and we needed protection on the west and on the south from the prevailing winds. And organic rules meant we needed either a 10-metre buffer or some kind of barrier between us and the neighbour who farms conventionally. We needed trees. Problem was, trees are expensive and we needed a lot. But here they were. Nature had handed us a free tree nursery, so that winter we marked every little tiny alder with little flags. Then, one by one, when the leaves dropped, we dug them up and replanted them to form a shelter belt. It's on the west edge of the canal and the south edge of the field, between the boundary between us and the neighbour, which is just behind me now. And here's the thing that always hits me. For 50 years at least, this mother alder had been throwing seed into this field every single year. And every single year the plough would come through and destroy them, year after year. But nature never gave up. She just needed the opportunity. The moment this ground wasn't cultivated, she seized the chance. And within a decade, a woodland. This is why I say, if we leave nature alone, she will always take it back. Alder are a pioneer species. They love wet ground. They outgrow grass very quickly and they race upwards for the light. Now, I started planting in my late 40s, thinking I might never live long enough to walk in the woodland that I'd planted. But these trees proved me wrong. They rocketed up. And because nature planted them densely, they went tall, straight and very fast. Every storm over the years would drop one or two, nature doing their own thinning. And we did a bit ourselves, but nature mostly handled that job. And now, over 10 years later, that original sapling teardrop has become alder carr woodland. Wildlife loves it, birds nest in it. The whole place is alive with some extra planting by nature and by ourselves. So we now have silver birch, downy birch, willow, oak, hazel, rowan, all have taken their place. Even ash seeded through it. Nature builds a community, even the trees form communities. Now, one more fascinating part of this story. For the last 6 to 8 years, these alders were hammered by alder beetles. Bright, metallic, bluey black insects. I'd never seen so many. But just lately, something has changed. The older alders began delaying when they came into leaf in the spring. It's as if they were waiting, and then the beetle numbers just collapsed, and I've not seen one this last summer. Now, I can't prove this, but I believe the communication networks below ground, the mycorrhizal fungi, played a part. It's like the trees sensed the threat, communicated their distress throughout their fungal network, and delayed leafing until the beetles had missed their timing. Newer, younger, older trees on the site didn't seem to get the memo and came into leaf much earlier. However it happened, nature seems to have somehow figured it out. So when I say we all need nature, I mean stories like this one. This whole woodland, this Alder car, exists because one tree persisted, and because we stopped interrupting long enough for nature to work. And now she's returned the favour with habitat, carbon capture, beauty, shade, wind protection, craft, wood, wildlife, birds, and hope. And this is Mother Alder's story. If you'd like more stories like this, real stories of real land here at Burscough Community Farm, then please subscribe to the channel. Click like. Maybe you could leave a comment about your nature persistence moment. We all really do need nature, and nature needs her chance back. So see you in the next one.